Alright, so you probably clicked on this video, saw either the title and or the game, and you're wondering why the hell I am playing Black Ops 1 from 14 years ago. And I am going to address both of those things in just a quick second. But I honestly just wanted to give some real quick context and kind of a bit of a shout out, honestly, to a guy called War. Just search it up exactly as it sounds on YouTube. He is a guy similar age to me who just does this exact same thing, who tried it, a couple years ago. It didn't work. Very similar to my situation. And he just talks about life. He talks about what is going on with his finances, with his job situation, with dating, a whole bunch of different topics. And I just found it super interesting. His growth has been super cool to watch. And I honestly just wanted to kind of replicate it for myself. I have this old capture card sitting beside my desk as I, just had it here for so damn long. And this is third time's a charm. I tried this in 2013 as a 15-year-old kid. I tried it again in 2015 as a 16, 17-year-old. And that is when I actually got some traction. But long story short, this will be a video for another day. My dad cut off the internet, so I'll address that at some point in the future. But this is really my third time giving it a shot. I've got some actual things to talk about. You're watching just a very simple, flawless, I think I went 40 and 0 or something like that in Nuketown. That is what, half the reason 40 and 0 isn't too impressive, but on Nuketown, as you can imagine, is extremely difficult. So I've got a couple gameplays similar to this. This will be my very first official video back, if you will, and, before we get into that, this is again a one take. There is not going to be any fancy editing. There is not going to be any fancy overlays, nothing like that. I'm just going to have a conversation with whoever's listening, and if it can literally just help one person shed some light on things in life and whatnot, I am happy. I have literally done my job, and that is all I ask. So the title is, it is very simple. I am not going to sugarcoat it. You do not have as much time as you think. You may as well just start. And this is coming from a 26-year-old. Okay, so I know I've not lived, a ton of life, but I've had enough experience in my 26 years that I can feel, especially the last 5 years or so, just blinking. And it has gone by like that, like the snap of fingers. And I can't really explain it. I am not going to talk about the science or any of that stuff. But honestly, just thinking of like, holy crap, like when you're young, when I first started this channel, it is like, oh man, I am 13, 14, 15. A year back then felt like a decade right now, right? Like a year goes by so damn quick. And the thing I wanted to talk about here is just like whatever the hell it is that you want to start. Half the reason I am starting this is because of this thought process is like, just do it. You literally don't have as much time as you may think or as people tell you. I know a lot of these gurus and things like that will tell you these things. And that is kind of what this channel is going to be focused about. Just a real quick note, it is going to be three things. And hopefully one of these resonates with you. It is going to be business / finance / just like lifestyle. Number two, it is going to be about health and fitness and how important that is and how much of a difference that has made in my life. I don't know what is going on here. I think I was playing with a buddy or something and he did that. And the third is just going to be maybe gaming and the impact that has had, but also taking my obsession and putting that into business and my somewhat success in my companies that I now own and run today. My job experience from the past, that is just some things I am going to talk about here. And that is the reason why I wanted to have this very first, chat on this specific video is like, dude, when you're young, you do have a lot of time, right? You do. And that is part of the reason why I wanted to talk about point number one, which is like, take risks. You have to take risks while you're young because you have so much time, you have an abundance of it, and you don't have any main responsibilities. So you may as well go start that business, go travel to the country and live in it for 3 years or whatever the process is, right? Do whatever the hell you want, man, because you're going to eventually have kids, you're going to have a mortgage, you're going to have larger overhead than what you would as a student. I really don't know what is going on in this video. I am sorry in this gameplay, but you need to stay on track and you need to assess, especially even in your early 20s. Things creep up very, very quickly if you're not smart enough, right? So if there is anything that I can just leave this with, it is you need to be forced to take some risk. It is one of the main things that I honestly regret, which is crazy to say. It is like, remember my mid-20s, and I've already got regrets. It is like, unfortunately, I just do. It is the standard that I hold myself to, and anyone listening that has resonated with the title of the video. You're probably feeling the same way, even if it is a little bit. It may not be super extreme, but it is like you should feel kind of pissed off. You should feel frustrated that it is like 5, 10, 15 years, however old you are while watching this video. It is like that is gone by, like the blink of an eye. Like if you're my age 26, it feels like 2012 was not that long ago, and it is like, holy hell, dude, like that is so damn long ago. Like that is insane. That is when I first started uploading videos. You could see my very first video on here, and I thought I had so much conviction that I was going to be a YouTuber and that I was going to make a living from this, and then I kind of fizzled out. I didn't put as much focus into it. I stopped taking the risk of just uploading videos and just seeing what happened. I got too scared of what people would think and or say. And it is like, I am at an age now where it is like, who cares, man? Who honestly gives a damn about any of that stuff? You just need to take the stab, take the risk, get out there, make content. There is a lot of people starting videos because of the guy that I mentioned where earlier in this video is like, dude, it is just inspiring to see someone grow because there is so much nostalgia with these old CODs, right? And I think that is something that people are really resonating with, and just going back to that time of your life from 2000, call it 2009 to 2013, man. Like you just had to be there. When people ask, I just say you just had to be there in this era of COD. But it is so funny to go back on and look at those commentaries from guys like Hutch or White Boy 7th Street or Woody Gamertag or people like that, and relive those moments. And that is why I still play these games. I don't play these games to try and stay stuck in the past. It is not anything to do with that. It is just I freaking love these games, and there is no other way around it. So as this game comes to an end, I know I'll be a little bit of a yap session or rambling, but the message stays strong. It is like, dude, just start whatever it is you want to start. I am starting this channel. This is the very beginning of hopefully a ton of wisdom and ton of videos on my success with money, or just any of that stuff, fitness, health. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll get to them as I can, and we'll roll from there. Thank you so much for taking the time. Appreciate it. Let's dive a little deeper into this concept of not having as much time as you think. I know it sounds a bit grim, but hear me out. When you're young, say in your teens or early 20s, a year feels like an eternity. You're making new friends, going to new places, experiencing so many firsts, and each moment stretches out, full of possibility. Fast forward to your mid-20s, and suddenly, a year flashes by in the blink of an eye. You're still working towards goals, building a career, maybe navigating relationships. But the novelty has worn off a bit, the days feel shorter, the weeks disappear, and before you know it, another birthday rolls around, and you're left wondering where all that time went. This isn't just some abstract philosophical musing. It has real implications for your financial future, your personal growth, and ultimately, your happiness. Think about it. Every single day you put off starting that business, learning that new skill, investing that first dollar, or even just working out consistently, is a day you'll never get back. It is a day when compound interest isn't working its magic for you. It is a day when your body isn't getting stronger. It is a day when your dreams are sitting on the shelf, gathering dust. And here is the kicker. The longer you wait, the harder it gets to catch up. The opportunity cost of procrastination in your youth is absolutely astronomical. It is not just about the money you could have made. It is about the experiences you could have had, the person you could have become, and the freedom you could have enjoyed. I've learned this the hard way. I remember being 15, thinking I had all the time in the world to become a YouTuber, then 16, 17, and each year that passed, my conviction, my initial fire, slowly faded. I got comfortable, I got scared. I let the fear of judgment from others creep in, and that fear, that hesitation, cost me years of potential growth, years of learning, years of building something meaningful. And now, at 26, looking back at 2012, it feels like a different lifetime. It feels like an era where I had so much energy, so much raw ambition, and I squandered some of it. Not because I wasn't capable, but because I didn't truly grasp the fleeting nature of time. This isn't a pity party. Not at all. It is a wake-up call. For myself, and hopefully for you too, it is about recognizing that youth, that period of minimal responsibilities and abundant energy, is a golden window of opportunity. It is when you can afford to take bigger risks, to fail harder, to experiment wildly, without the crushing weight of a mortgage, a family to support, or a deeply entrenched career path that is difficult to deviate from. This isn't to say you can't start later in life. Absolutely you can. But the runway is shorter, the stakes are higher, and the amount of effort required to achieve the same results often increases exponentially. So what does taking risks even mean in this context? It doesn't mean gambling away your life savings or making reckless decisions. It means intelligent risk-taking. It means starting that side hustle, even if you're not sure it will work. It means investing a small portion of your income into something you believe in. Even if it feels uncomfortable, it means dedicating those 3,000 hours, the equivalent of a full-time job for over a year and a half, to master a new skill. Instead of passively consuming entertainment, it means putting yourself out there, creating content, sharing your ideas. Even if you fear what people might think, let's break down some specific areas where this concept applies. First, business and finance. This is my bread and butter. This is where the mathematical and psychological truths about wealth truly intertwine. You see, the earlier you start investing, even if it is small amounts, the more powerfully compound interest works in your favor. That is a mathematical truth, but the biggest barrier for most people, especially young people, is psychological. It is the fear of losing money, the desire for instant gratification, the overwhelming feeling of not knowing where to start. My advice, just start. Open a low-cost index fund, automate a small contribution every month, and forget about it. Resist the urge to constantly check your portfolio. Resist the urge to chase the next hot stock. Patience is a virtue in investing, and time, your most precious asset, is your greatest ally. Second, health and fitness. This might seem disconnected from wealth, but it is absolutely not. Your health is your most valuable asset. Without it, all the money in the world won't bring you true happiness or the ability to enjoy your life. Prioritizing your physical and mental well-being in your youth pays dividends for decades. It is easier to build good habits now than to break bad ones later. It is easier to maintain a healthy weight and fitness level than to try and regain it after years of neglect. And let's be real, feeling good physically directly impacts your energy, your focus, and your overall productivity, which in turn impacts your ability to earn and create wealth. It is all interconnected. A holistic approach to life. And third, gaming. I know. I am playing Black Ops 1, and it might seem counterintuitive to talk about gaming in a video about productivity and taking risks. But hear me out. My obsession with gaming, with mastering those old CODs, with understanding the mechanics and strategies, taught me something invaluable. It taught me discipline. It taught me problem solving, and it taught me the power of focused effort. I've taken that same obsessive energy, that same drive to improve and dominate, and I've channeled it into my businesses, into my financial endeavors, and it has paid off immensely. So, it is not about abandoning your passions. It is about understanding the underlying skills and mindset they cultivate, and then strategically applying those to other areas of your life that generate real-world value. So whether it is starting that online store, learning to code, writing that book, launching that podcast, or even just consistently going to the gym, the message is simple: just start. You're not going to be perfect, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to face setbacks, but every single attempt, every single step forward is progress. And the 26-year-old me, the me who is currently looking back at the past decade with a mix of pride and a touch of regret, can tell you this with absolute certainty: the biggest regret you'll have in 10 years won't be the things you tried and failed at, it will be the things you never even dared to attempt because you thought you had more time. You don't. So go out there, take that calculated risk, and make the most of the precious fleeting time you have. That is all I've got for this one. If you have any questions, any topics you want me to dive into, leave them in the comments below. I am here to build a community, to share what I've learned, and to help us all get a little bit richer, a little bit healthier, and a whole lot happier. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.